let's move to the second turn, but I want to point something out. Not about the game itself, but about my play of it. God, I love the view here. That's not what I wanted to say. Me being upstairs, at first I kind of looked at it as, wow, that's a strong disincentive to come up and play things. But I gotta say, I carried the camera up in between after I recorded, and dumped on my computer. And I'm like, well, I might as well play a little bit more. Whereas if it was just next door, I might have just continued watching the weird conspiracy theory video I'm watching right now. And, it's funny. Conspiracy theories showed up not just on the interwebs and whatnot. They were being propagated by things like the History Channel all along. And some of them are right. All right, so we're at this set. Well, that's a set that I like to use. Let me see if I have anything mandatory. I do. It's not time yet. So I think I'm going to plink off my artillery again. It takes 2 hits to kill this unit, so I'll fire both guns. Again, I could end up blowing them up doing this. Oops. I've got the engineer there, and I kill another Venetian unit. Yay! All right. Hey, if he wants to get near my fort, let him. All right, that gets me to the purpley side of this, which I think is these guys. I don't know if there's a black one. There's the gray. I think that's the most it has. So purpley is this, and this. I have no leader. I have some light cav. Light cav is useful stuff. I'm still really disturbed by this guy. Now, crossing the river, I think it uses all my movement, so I don't want to be across the river from him. I should be checking supply regularly because it's got to be traced from here. 3 areas from there, which means 1, 2, 3. This is as far as it gets, and likewise my camp here. Which kind of means that it's going to be real hard to fight up here, and I'm not sure why I'm moving my units around up there. Okay, I'll have to think about that in a bit. What about these light cav? I can move 1, 2. Well, first of all, let's check. Do I have mandatories? I do not. I have things I might not particularly want in my hand. I don't particularly want to play that. Okay, well, let's say I just go raiding. I don't really want to end up here. This is the problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can get away. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do a raid. I got almost no chance of hitting him. I might as well just draw a card. I don't have a lot of these units. I don't have a lot anywhere. So, choose 2 areas adjacent to a river. Half the units in areas are disordered. Owning player's choice. Move the final turn marker 1 position back on the timeline. Okay. 1 position back. I don't know which way that is. I want this card to be in my hand. I'll throw this one away. Okay. The attack. Okay. So we are unfortunately not in combat supply anymore, are we? 1, 2, 3. Yes, we are not in combat supply anymore. Well, that sucks. Let's look up the combat supply rules and see if we can do anything without it. Far from the camp to be able to do anything. Now, if we were in Trieste, we'd be in supply even if the camp moved. We'd be in supply if the camp's where it is. But if we move the camp down a little bit, we could try to clear out Istria. The problem is, there's another card out there that'll bring more troops into Istria. I'd like to clear out these units and weaken his chance of that, and get it to the point where I don't have to have this huge Trieste force in play. But there's too much there for me to just send 2 units, which I can do without combat supply. I am allowed to raid, though. Why don't we think about that? I have a mandatory. I don't get to play it. I have this that I do not want to use. So, I don't know. Do I want to... Do I want to do a raid with just 1 unit? I mean, I could send 2 units on a raid, but then they'd be stuck there, and that wouldn't be a raid anymore because of the crappy terrain. Or do I want to draw a card and wait and get enough supply down there that I can launch a major attack? Let's do the raid. I go in... Oh, wait a minute. That terrain affects my combat capability, doesn't it? Difficult terrain. Fire value of 3 or more is reduced by 1. Yeah, that's not a problem. All right, let's go in and raid. And I need a 1 or a 2 to hit. I do not get it. I also don't have any bad effect, except that I used up my action. Blue is just over here. No, up here too. All right, let's... So just a couple units can actually do something, is what we're seeing. So like I could use 2 of these 3 units on an attack into the bad terrain, but I could actually get some advantage there. So blue is here where they're kind of defending something useful. Here where it's useful. What I might want to do is start to build up so that I can start to besiege, but geez. I mean, when I get the bombardier attack, I can move them up, but then valuable stuff is there ready to be bombarded. So if I was moving there, I think I want to get things close. So we'll go 1, 2. This has already gone, so I am going to move all the way down into here with the hopes of getting my bombardiers into play there and starting to blow through the wall. That's the plan. But cards. Always have to check. This one can't be played yet. Choose 2 areas adjacent to a single river. Half the units in the areas are disorganized. I gotta look this one up. Could I do this to... I mean, these are adjacent to the river. This is flooding or something like that. Let's go take a look. My curiosity was, can this card affect one of the fortress locations? And it would seem like it could. There is a question on this. Unfortunately, it's all in Italian, but Google Translate came into play. And yeah, the walls of the city prevent it from being flooded. But not spelled out here. Choose two areas adjacent to a single river. Half the units in the areas are disorganized, owning player's choice. That could be very, very useful. What the hell was I doing? I think I moved these already. I think that's what I did, but I was looking up, is there a card I want to play? Because that would be useful. These others are not, except I really want to play this one, but it's not available until after here. That's a long way out, but I want to hold this card because if it's in the enemy's hands, I'm not going to get, I think, no matter what, Nassau is going to be on the Venetian side. That would make sense. So I'll put that there, but I'm not sure. That is not spelled out, but I'm assuming he's a Venetian side unit. Okay, we'll draw one more chit. And we get Austrian, I think that's black, not purple, which is these guys. Well, I look at my mandatory again. I want to do something here because I want to recover this unit. And that's all I do. I don't think I've got another option. I think my choice is to either move units or recover units. So the fact that I got only one hit on that unit, you know, I could have charged in again and tried to take that space. I chose not to. Whatever. I don't know. Let's do another check. Pretty soon I gotta stop, but it's hard. It's addictive. It really is. You're drawing a chit, you get to do something. This is the grayish, which is this guy. He has a stack of infantry here. Now this is my camp. Oh. Is this where I want my camp? It's kind of exposed. And I can't put it in the city. It's kind of exposed if I don't get my attack in. Jeez. On the other hand, it has to be within range of this. I am going to move the camp up to Undine, and it has moved. It can't move again. But at the same time, 1, 2, 3 into here. Now I could actually pull units from something else to help me attack this. Is this what I want to do? I don't know. Is this Marengo? I don't think so, but maybe. No, mine goes over that way. See, I feel pretty safe with this. I'd like to get forces out. If this was an attack space, I could bring my bombardiers in, but I don't want to move them. Let's move this here. I can move up to 4 units towards here. This feels fairly safe back here, but I don't know. I just don't know. How about this light cav? Is this where I want it? His chit has already been played, but I didn't move him. So he hasn't been activated, which is something to keep in mind. I think. I'm not positive. Gosh. These have been activated. And that's something I kind of have to try to remember, which is going to be hard to do. One. Two, three. Let's get activated markers on these guys. Oh, I may not want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's move him instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that keeps me down to 6. All right, now I'm fighting over this fort. I have 4 3s. A 2 and a 1. The yellow will be the 1. 1 hit removed. I got 2 hits. 1 hit's removed, 1 hit disrupts. He gets to shoot back. And he hit me. I'll disrupt this light cav. I don't know, I'll disrupt the heavy cav. The light cav looks more useful for other things. I'll put these here. He has to retreat. Now, I'm in here. He can't retreat there. I don't know if this is a space. I think this is water and islands. I can't retreat across the river. Saravongo here is a space. And I think that is the only place I'm allowed to retreat. Let me check the retreat rules. Yeah, I believe I'm allowed to retreat there. That's not the safest place in the world for me to be, but that is where I am. I think I checked for whether or not I wanted to play a card. All right, we're gonna call that time to draw a chit, and I'll put that here to help remind me. And I don't know. I'm trying to see how I can remember between pauses what's been activated and what hasn't. So for example, I know I moved this right now because I played a sequence of chit draws in a row, but I'm kind of worried I have to go through the entire cup. And that may be okay if I do it tonight, but let's say I take a couple days off or something in the midst of a turn, which can happen to me. That's going to be problematic. Back soon enough. And I mean, the obvious answer is don't stop in the middle of a turn, but that's tough for me because these turns are not trivially short. So we got a white bordered, that's these militia. Wow. Is this one? It is not mine. So, my feeling is that these aren't terribly useful. I'm a little worried about covering this though. I think I'm going to move this piece and put an activation on it because I think it's likely that I'll move those things. And let me make sure I don't have anything. I'm pretty sure I don't have a mandatory. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing I want to apply. This might be useful. Flood some rivers spaces. So for example, I could, you know, hit these two or something like that. But I don't feel like I have the number of units that I'd like to hit. And that's not a river down there, that's the ocean. Even though it's got a kind of a blue. Okay, my cav type stuff. Now I fired that one off, but I've got these guys. Oh, something I want to do with them? Yeah. I could use them to help cover this from artillery fire. But I'm going to be moving. Unfortunately, I'd like to bombard this, but I need to get my guns into play for the siege. I got a lot of units that I need to move into here already, maybe too many. That's problematic. I'm going to be taking a disruption, I think, on one of these, which isn't too horrible, but it is some of my fire, some of my capability to absorb damage. Is there a card I'm willing to discard? Three Cernidi or 2 Venetian infantry. Yeah, but I don't really want the victory point to be spent. That's the problem. I don't really want to draw a card because I don't have anything I want to get rid of. Minor countermining, I may well be doing that. Shooey. All right, well, let's think about moving then. Maybe we want to do this flood. If I'm having trouble finding cards. Okay, so choose 2 areas adjacent to a single river. Half the units in the areas are disorganized, owning player's choice. Move the final turn marker. That's this. Another space. I'm assuming it's here, so we'll push it there. I guess. I don't know. It doesn't say to set this up, but whatever. It's effectively there, so I don't know if it's moved to here now or if it's unplayable. And let's see. We've got this river here, the Lisonzo, and we can't flood that. We're going to flood this area, where he'll disrupt this, and we will flood. I don't think this is adjacent, so we'll flood here, where he hits this, and that goes there. And we got a unit we can move because of this. Well, I feel pretty safe back here, so let's move out. Where's my camp? I moved it, didn't I? I moved it back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put an activation marker there. Oh, what were these? out of supply, I think. All right, another chip. And this time it's his red stuff, which is his shitty militia. I am going to use this to recover. It's not just his militia. This unit that got sickened, because why not? Oh, cards. Always have to think about cards. January, February, up to 5 units of the Venetian command. Yeah, we do not want to get rid of that card anytime in the near future. Okay, the Istria command. So Istria's forces are in command. I could launch an attack against these Trieste forces, but they have the advantage right now. So I don't want to do that. Since I freed up space, I'll draw a card. Well, that's probably something I want to discard. The Bombardier. Okay. I have 4 of these. 1, 2. Now, I can't leave it behind and bombard to try to finish this thing off. So I move these in. I'll leave 1 in there. Do I want to bring all my artillery? Let's leave 1, I think. I don't know. I really want to blow the shit out of his wall. Let's move them all in. Okay. And was there a card I wanted to play? I don't think so. I think I played the 1 card I wanted to. It's very hard for me to remember that kind of stuff. My yellows. That's these. All right, we're coming out, and we're going to hit these. And that gets us 3 dice at 3 versus 1 at 2. We kill this. And now this is the last chit. Black guy's here. I'm going to recover. Oh, no, that's purplish. Right? That's this. We launch an attack. Okay. So, 2 4s, a 5, and a 3. We hit once, that's absorbed by the fort, we fail. Pushed back. That was the end of turn. Still no victory points have happened yet. Let's take a look at the events at the end. Check to see if some area has excess combat units. This one does, right? 4, 5, 6, 1 excess. And this is just going to keep disrupting, but that's okay. I can recover in between when the blue comes up. Yeah, it wastes an action, but we can get rid of these activated markers. They don't matter. We wouldn't get rid of out of supply markers at this point. And I think that is it. We grab the cup. We push into January, February of 1616. That's gonna bring some counters into play, or some of these cards into play that haven't been, so we gotta remember that. And that is not the 1617, so we don't add a pile of new cards on top of the deck. And we're ready to go into another turn. I'm going to break a little bit. I hope to get at least 1 more turn done tonight. I don't know, maybe more than that. You know, I'm starting to get a flow to it, but we're also starting to get into a position where shit's beginning to actually happen. So, I don't know. Interesting thing with this game is, like CDGs, because of the chip pull, all the card activity and everything, it's hard to step away. I'm not sure that's a good or a bad thing in terms of the videos. For me, it's a bad thing. I like being able to watch the game unfold and then come back and tell more of the story. But I've gotten further and further away from that with more modern designs, and even with things like the GBOH, because of how I break up my day. Okay, so we got these guys here, and I am going to recover this unit. This is the only unit that's been activated. Since it's the only one that's been activated, I'm going to do that. But I gotta pay attention, because we're in 1616 now. And not this one. We're not in March, April 1616 yet. I would like to get rid of that card, rather, but I can just sit on it for forever, I guess. It's one of the options in play. Because we're going to hit that March, April. But I can't play the card yet, and if I'm recovering that unit, I can't afford to draw a card and discard it. Istria's command. That's these guys down here. I certainly don't want to attack with them. Well, now I can draw a card. Okay. Let's see what we get. Oh, this one's complicated. In any area with 2 or more units of any kind, remove 1 unit. Move the final turn marker 1 position back on the timeline. Back, I think, means towards me. That's what I did before. Advanced game. This is going to affect the morale of both armies. Alright, I am going to get rid of this card, because it's eating up hand space. And I don't particularly want to have that in play. That is who? Let's find him. I think it's these guys here. Jeez, don't know what I want to do. Raid doesn't really help me. I've got maximum morale. I've got supplies. Not really sure how much raiding for supplies actually does for me. It just puts the unit back in supply. But it gets checked the next time it can do something. Huh. Can these light cav do anything for me? Two, three. Like, I'd like to hit the Austrians with them. Let's get them. I don't have a card I particularly want to discard. I have ones I wouldn't mind getting rid of. Right, this one I want to hold. This one I could just use or discard. This one I want. I don't know what this is. I'm going to have to look this one up, because it's in any area. I don't know if that means any one area or all areas. And again, the rules seems to be a single area is what my guess is here, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Let me look up and make sure, because I remember there was a card that was like it hit every area. It is every area. It's not the only card like that either. There's another card, card number 35, which is the same. I'm not sure I terribly want to do this. I mean, it really just weakens all the armies. It doesn't seem like a huge advantage. On the other hand, do I particularly want to play this card, these pieces? They might be of more value. I think I do. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're in January, February. Huh. We'll put them up here anyway. And I'm going to put an activation marker because, again, there's another unit of that command out here. I mean, yeah, I don't particularly want to play that. I don't mind discarding it if I have to at some other point. So no biggie either way. Well, I'm getting all of mine. It's the Bombard. We're going to do it. We're going to try to blow the shit out of the wall. I got 4 Bombards. There's no firing back. Oh, wait a minute. How does this go with mining? Can I do this in conjunction with mining? Okay, it's activated. So, yeah, so I could actually activate and move units and do stuff in addition. So, I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to drop a mine, if I can, and I have a mine card here. Subtract 1 from the die roll for a mine or counter mine operation. So let's look at that. I think I may have to roll both times. You can place more than 1 mine. No. Yeah, you roll for both. So let me roll for getting the mine into place. I'll keep the card for actually blowing the mine. Okay, I do not get it into place, and now I got 4 dice for my artillery, and I got 4 artillery. They hit on 3s, I think. I have to look. Okay, one of them blew up. Yeah, and 2 of them hit, which means we're down to level 1. This is reminds me of okay, let's get all of these under this activation there, just in case I want to pull a unit away or something, although I'm no longer overstacked. It reminds me of the siege games that I like from like the Art of Siege by SPI, with especially Constantinople, with the blowing away the walls and rebuilding them and everything. I like that mechanism. This game is made up of a bunch of different mechanisms from other, that have already shown up before in the world, but I haven't seen anything put together quite like this. The events, everything else together. Okay, so we get yet even more of these. Oh, this camp has not moved this turn. Now, I've got range on this, so I'm okay. Who killed these? Was it these guys? Did they march out and do it? I think so. So I'm going to move them a little further out. That means I'm not well defended here. Okay. I I don't particularly want to move my camp at this point. Do I want to draw a card? Remember, I've got a card that I'm not really sure. I kind of, I don't want that particularly going to the Austrians because maybe it's to their advantage, but let's just draw a card. And heavy and prolonged rain in Butrio. All units in the following areas cannot be moved this turn. Udine, Cividale, Risan, Rosazzo. So one of my options would be that I could hold on to this to play it, to get it out of play. Because this doesn't seem like a terribly bad time for it to come out for me. On the other hand, I don't think it's as important as that other card. So, the hell with it. Yeah. We have not had a single Austrian piece come up. They're going to get all their actions at once. All right. And we get their main Strassoldo. Isn't that what these others are? Aren't there Strassoldo? Huh, maybe not. Okay. All right. So I got a bunch of things I want to do. I'm definitely going to order that command. I am going to look over here. I have a mandatory. It's January, February 1616. I have to play this. Place the indicated units in the Austria area. Okay. It's an Austrian cannon. 1, 2, I think 4 of these. And not these. Okay. So that must be played, and that doesn't cost me anything. It's just has to be used. Up to 5 units of the Venetian command Istria. Yeah, you don't ever want to lose that card. Hold an enemy force in place while trying to cross a river. No. All right. So with this, I think this guy is able to support these. So I'm going to fire 2 artillery, and I'm going to try to rebuild the wall. The 2 artillery are 2 hits. We'll take those hits on the regular units, which is not good, but the shooting artillery or bombardier would destroy them, so that would be worse. And now I'm going to take a shot at repairing my wall, and I can only repair it 1 level at a time, and it's getting broken faster. Okay. Engineers don't blow up when you roll a 6. They're not as explosive. Okay. Another one. This is that big Austrian stack. All right, we need to get that. Down towards my fort. Now, I thought there were 2 fortresses. It's Gorizia here. That's worth a shitload of points. There is a path down, so we will move these down. I'll put an activation on them. I don't have a leader there, so nothing fancy I can do. There aren't a lot of leaders. Keep drawing. These guys. All right, well, once again, into the breach. Is this wise? I don't know. It may allow me to take some. Oh, I had a leader over here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough range to be able to command both forces, so that's not really terribly helpful. All right, so we went in again, and We'll see if we can get 2 or more hits. That one doesn't, but these 2 do. We take a hit. Take it on our infantry. And this is hit twice. It's disordered. So we were disordered as much as the enemy, so we're pushed back again. Not the result we would have liked. We actually wanted all 3 hits, but not a lot of option for that. We might get lucky. Who is this? This is this unit. So he'll have a chance to recover. Maybe I shouldn't have launched an attack because of the chits. Trieste. Okay. Not in range of the camp. I don't have an engineer, so I can't build a fort or anything. I'm just going to draw a card with them, not from the enemy's hand. And I get this one. Play 2 Venetian reinforcement infantry belonging to a command already in play or to Istria. Playable only after March, April. Yeah, not yet, but soon. Okay, Pompeii, that's this. There's not a great reason for me to be here. Do I have a mandatory card, though? November, December. You know, I mean, it's not really hurting me to be there. So let's draw a card. Okay, this is a mandatory after it's available. Place the indicated units in Austria. Shit. Well, I can't discard that anymore because that's playable now. I was going to get rid of this. Okay. Shouldn't have drawn. I don't know. You know. It doesn't really matter if the Austrians get it or if I get it. It has to be played. But it does mean that my next play can't be a pass. Okay, we're on this guy. And we're just going to recover. And I can put an activation marker on him because there are more of him kicking around. Let's make sure I had to play my card. Not that one. This is the 2 Austrian infantry. Show up there. And it's removed from play. Okay. I like the flow of the way the reinforcements and everything come in because of this. It's a workable function to me. It does waste a lot of cards when you could just, have a reinforcement schedule. But on the other hand, those cards do allow you a little bit of play. And I don't know. It seems to feel about right. So now I'm on the purple guys, and I don't know where they are. This pale purple. These are the ones I was saying, they look like these, but I don't know what happened to them. I think I killed them all. Gosh. I'm going to put their piece here because I don't think there are any more of their pieces. So unless they come back into play, they're just a waste being in the cup. I don't think I'm allowed to take a draw for them, is basically. Oh, wait, no, there's some up there. Okay, so I'm up here with 2 cav. I could launch an attack with that. These little, I guess they're streams and whatnot, are kind of disconcerting. There is a border here. I could get lucky. Is this good terrain? You know what? I think I'm going in. Let me make sure how these work. I actually don't know how they work, so I'll have to look that up. I think if you capture the area, you get that, and you just get those victory points. As opposed to these, where you have to hold the area for the game, but I'm not positive in either case. Indeed how they work. So we're going to launch an attack here. I could win. Okay, so I've got 2 red dice. There's no terrain advantage there. Versus 2 white dice. They're all deuces. There's nothing special. We all miss. Back I go. And that's done. Last shit of the turn. This is these stupid purples will recover. I'm not sitting on anything mandatory. That is the end of the turn. I make sure that nothing exciting happens. I get rid of these activations. I don't think I'm over 6 anywhere. I'm trying to keep that from being an issue. Okay, so I'm gonna fade out at this point. I wanted to talk about a little bit actually. With these, the reason I thought that they were just, and they are, you capture them once. One is they're called booty. But secondly, there's ones that are question marks, which you have to roll for. So you would have to have some kind of number marker on them afterwards. And then when I looked it up, what I found out is that indeed the points for the major cities are for occupying them at the end of the game. You have to actually be in possession of them at whenever the game ends. Anyway, that's it for probably tonight because it's late enough. You know, it's weird because I've slept so much today that I probably could push another turn out. It didn't take that long, but we'll see. A little bit of a snooze, but that's it. Now I'm back up. In 15 minutes, I've got something I have to do for my Flash game. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I can't do it until 15 minutes have passed. Anyway, I draw an Istria. One Istria is shitty. I don't want to do that. I looked at my cards. I don't have a mandatory, so I'm going to draw a new card, and we get a mandatory. Advanced game, if the friendly camp is supplied, morale +2, otherwise morale -1. Well, that's not going to really help. I'm already at the top of my morale chart. Okay, another shit. This should be under there. This should be stacked, really. These were because I had a marker on top of them. I think that's white. Yeah. Okay. So that's these militias, which are not something I particularly want to move. Unfortunately, I have this mandatory. So I'm going to have to do something with one of my militia units. That could allow me to move my camp. Not sure I really want to. I kind of like where I am. I've got these within range. What's going on here? This is a red unit. Okay. Gosh. I mean, there's really nothing I want to do with these forces. That's the problem. Well, I gotta play this card, and it has no effect. Other than that, gosh. I'll move that up. To guard the camp. I don't know. with the white with the red. Okay, that's my Austrian army group. And again, this guy can't command any of the others. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already. I would like to move other forces from this command. I could move this leader, and that would give me capabilities to move more forces more quickly. That might be a worthwhile task. Not within range there. I don't know if it's 3 movement points or 3 spaces. Doesn't really make a difference. I got the, well, let's check the supply rules. These are, it's a pain to find the rules. I mean, in this case, I found it very easily, so I shouldn't complain. But I like to complain. I think it's only under attack supply that it tells you the range. No longer than 3 areas. Difficult terrain count as 2 areas. Well, that's actually kind of problematic. I was wrong about this. This is unable to even get there. I don't think I have these in command, which I thought I did. And this Botino must be in this space. Yeah, so that's an issue. Okay, I'm going to move this camp so that I'm not cheating anymore when I keep launching these attacks. And that means that I can move forces. Now, I can move up to 4 forces, but they all have to be close, and that doesn't include this. This militia is fine. They kind of don't want to expose things here. That's the problem. He has a movement of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's been activated, but I don't think that really matters. Oh, let's look. Anything mandatory, anything I want to do. Place Venetian reinforcements to a command already in play. I don't want to do that. Up to 5 units of the Venetian command to Istria. Yeah. And hold an enemy while attempting to cross a river. Okay. No issue. Nothing I actually want to play. All right. And that means I've slowed these down, but now I can move all those forces except I'm not in command. Does that affect this? Ooh, I don't remember. So that might have been a waste. So I got to look at the supply rules and the camp and all kind of stuff like that to see a unit that field combat or raid, 3 or more combats, many. I thought there was something about a commander. It may be the morale rules. And speaking of which, we're going to be going into the yellow. So this is going to throw us into the yellow. You know what? It's not worth moving this guy, if that's the case. Let's move these. 1, 2. Onto here, and then that third I can't do, and I'll put an activated on the pile just so I don't try to move any of those. Okay. And we get the red and blue. Red and blue is interesting. That's these guys. I want to recover them. I don't think I have a mandatory. I don't think I have anything I want to do. Let's check these again. December 16, counter mining, and get troops but give the Austrians a victory point. when I don't really need the troops. Okay. Oh, this is my bombardiers. Well, these are the guys I wanted to fire off. This whole area is moved. The blues don't matter. I already know them. The bombardiers, okay. So, I'm down to 3 firepower. I didn't get a mine in place. On the off chance that I fail, we'll roll for the mining as well. Do I want to fire all 3 cannons? Let's just fire 2 of the 3 cannons. Okay, we got the mining in place. We did not get any cannon fire to work, but we didn't blow up any cannons either. Okay. And we didn't want to spend the thing that gives a bonus to the mining. Okay, this is the gray guys, but which gray guys? That's these. Anyone from there that I need to move? I've got these guys. They're not this. They are not in supply of the camp, if I recall correctly. I don't know what that matters. I don't know. I assume they were able to move before. I probably want to do something with them. Right now the camp is 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move. He actually has quite a command capability. I don't want to be here. That's within firing range. So I'm going to move this command here. That puts me in a position that if I can move the camp forward, I can start threatening stuff over here more. Is it what I really want to do? I don't know. But again, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know when this morale takes effect, if it's at the beginning or the end of the turn. Okay. We're at these purples. That's these militia up here. This is down here. Gosh. Not a lot I can do with them. How about I draw a card? And place the indicated units in the Venetian area. Play only after May, June 16. Is this required? No. This gives Austrians points. Creates a bunch of units. I probably don't want to create that, even though it gets me victory points. And so far, no victory points have changed hands in this game. That's my play, though. It's just playing with cards. Pompey, that's this. I mean, I could shift forces around. I don't feel like that's a big necessity. How am I doing with cards? I have room for another card, so let's draw one, and oh boy. Roll a die on a result of 1 through 3. An already activated Venetian core is put back into play in the cup. Player of the card's choice. Otherwise, one random Venetian core still to be activated is placed on the activated track. Okay. Could be interesting. Probably actually want to play that. So I get this. Well, I would like to activate that. And I'm guaranteed for that to work. But let's play our brand new card. Roll a die. There is still one in the cup, I see it. 4, 5, or 6. Okay. So I lose my activation. There's only one in the cup. of the Treviso unit, which I don't know how big a deal that is. And this goes there. And this allows me to recover. And now all we got is Austrians left in the cup. The Trieste group, well, do I have any mandatories? I do not. I don't particularly want to do anything with them, so I will draw a card. I'm not sure I want to necessarily drill through the cards. This is a mandatory, March, April 16, that's now. 4 units in the indicated commands in Venetian. Well, I screwed up. I created, next turn, that's going to create more units. Which one do I want to just throw out? Throw that one. Okay. But now I have a mandatory, and I go again, which we knew was going to happen. This is Frenovi. Oh, geez. Okay, that was the militia. So this is the black guys over here. I do want to activate them. I must use this. Place 4 units of the indicated commands in the Veneto area, and only after March, April. I think this counts as after. Oh, geez, that's the rule I'm not playing with. Fuck. So one of the advanced rules, mandatory cards with only after, cannot be discarded, and if they're played, the reinforcements are put on the timeline at the beginning of each turn. Shit, I haven't been playing with that at all. I've been allowing myself to discard these. Well, I guess I'll change my way of playing. But that creates this command, which I assumed was in play and have been playing with because it shows up in the initial commands. 4 units of the indicated commands. Okay, I guess I am allowed to choose 4 units of these commands. In the Venice area, I will grab all of this command and put it there. This is not that big a deal. And it's got an R, so it's a reinforcement unit, and I am allowed to do something with these. So I rally one of my units. Am I in range of my fort yet? Of my camp? It's here. Yeah, it's in range now. Wow, the camp was in a painful place before. Okay, and the last shit is my purpley guys over here. Well, I got 2 cannons to fire, and I don't want that mining happening, so I'm going to counter mine. Here are the cannons. They both hit. And let's try to get rid of that mine. That's a success too. I don't know, because, you know, the wall is pretty close to being destroyed as well. We're going to get a breach either way. That's the end of the cup. Let's take a look at the morale timeline. The army morale. When it is written on the timeline, the morale of each army drops by 1. Okay, well, I think it's going to be at the beginning of the turn. Not specified, not going to run downstairs and check that. This is the end of the turn. So I guess I start the turn off by dropping these, and the impact is that the Austrians can no longer create combined actions, I think. When the army is yellow, each command can activate units in a single area. I don't know. but I've been told. Whether or not that impacts the commander's special field combat capability for the advanced game. I would assume so. So Venice has gotten itself into a bit of a bonus comparatively. They're on the offensive in the water, so. Okay. And this is the black ones, I think, yeah. Which are these guys here. Now, I have moved the camp, oops, so that it's close enough that it reaches, which means I could launch those attacks, but somehow or another, there's a horde of troops there now. That's not so good. I got no mandatories. Did I? Yeah. See, this was a reinforcement one that I threw out, and I don't remember if I did it after I made my decision. Anyway, this is the turn where we try to follow that rule. That's going to be hard, though, because I've kind of baked it into my way of thinking. Place the indicated units in Venice. That actually may have gotten played. Hold the enemy. Up to 5 units of the Venetian command can come in. Oh, boy. And what's kind of hard with that is you force the enemy to perhaps choose which units go on the timeline if you're discarding. Now, that only applies with must plays, though, so screw it, man. It wouldn't affect any of these. Okay. So, what am I doing? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do with this force. It's a fairly decent-sized force. I kind of, ball of yuck that came out of me. This shit. I kind of want to, I think I want to stay there. I'm just going to draw a card. I don't see anything I particularly want to do there. All right, the Pope and the Emperor, SRI, I guess, I don't know. Obtain from both sides an agreement for a temporary truce. Field battles are not allowed for the entire game turn. All other actions allowed, remove when used. Yeah, that would still allow bombardment, which is what I'm most worried about. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I have decided those guys, and that's a pretty good command down there, and this is a shame that I'm not getting to use it, but, oh, here's why I couldn't find him. Okay. The Whiteys. What's up with the Whiteys? They are kind of spread all over the place. Not a bad choice. Do I have a mandatory here? November, December 16, that's down here. This gives Austria points and me some garbage. And subtract 1 from the die roll for a minor countermine operation. I think I'll draw a card, because I can't figure out a use for that command. Eliminate 1 enemy artillery unit who has just fired. Okay, this looks like a can trigger at any time type thing. So I gotta remember about that too, like the river one, but we'll keep drawing. The Trieste command. The Trieste command is too far from the camp to do anything. It's 1, 2, 3 to there. I'm really just stuck there unless I get my commander down there. So I guess I'll draw a card. I'm not sure I want to run through them this much. Okay, Venice plus, oh, okay. Place the indicated units in Austria, and Venice will get a victory point. Play only after November, December. I don't really want to lose this. Kind of don't want to lose that. This is exceedingly powerful compared to this. I'm just going to discard this. My own troops, but I don't really feel like I need them that badly. All right, I'll keep drawing. Okay. Giustiniani. Where is he? He's the gray stuff. That is like this Venice pile. Okay. Let's get that moving. Did I have something I needed to play? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3. I don't think that I'm really in any danger having another pile of pieces here. I'll shake because I could see. The Istria faction. Okay, I'm in supply, don't particularly want to attack. I'll draw a card. Place 1 Usochi unit in the Carso Arduino area, taken from the eliminated or reinforcements. I don't know what the Usochis look like. I don't know what color they are, where they come from. I think they're white, but I'm not sure. They're not these. I'm also not even sure which side they're from. Wow. Yeah, they're these Austrian ones. Well, discarding that won't really hurt me. I want this, I want this. I might need this, I don't know. Let's just discard this. Okay. And that was a card draw. Keep going. That's this. All right, well, we're going to keep, we're going to start trying to repair, and we're going to keep firing our artillery. Now, yes, I know I have a rule in play there, or a card to use. 2 hits with the artillery. This is a problem. I do not want to lose my guns, so these 2 units have been destroyed. And this gets upgraded to a 2 if I can find one. And this gets played to eliminate one of the Austrian artillery. All right, we're gonna take a little pause because we gotta check on something. All right, we drew a blue one. And it's kind of funny, I mean, so either the choice is, and this is the problem with these pulsed games, kind of show all the actions, or try stepping back, and then it's going to be really hard to explain what happened. So in this case, I think what I'm going to do is I see a pass going through this way. So I am going to march into there. This is the only one of this color, so I can safely place that. I don't think there was anything I wanted to play. And, you know, I'm seeing, hey, there's an opening up here. Let's force the Austrians to cover that. Now that we don't have those blue units down by the siege any longer. And we draw another one. Look at this purplish thing. One of them's kicking around down here. Got a couple of them here. These are not like Cav. I could raid. Raiding would give me a point of morale, which at least I have room for it now. I could also draw a card. I'll draw a card. Duchy of Savoy, Venice relocates troops, place 2 Venetian Cernid in Parma. Okay. Useful. Palma. That's down here. Yeah, that could be helpful, whatever. Okay, this is the red bordered Austrian stuff. Well, we've caused a problem by placing this here. That's in close. I'm going to have to dispatch units up here. Put that there, make sure I don't have anything mandatory or that I want to do. Not particularly. This is something I've been looking for because I need reinforcements for this. I'll move these 2 into there, move this into here. I guess I don't want to overload my frontage. I don't think there was anything I wanted to play. I don't remember. The Duchy of Savoy weighs his forces. Venice relocates. Yeah, I might as well play this. 2 Venetian Cernidie. That I think is these 2. They show up there, and this is gone. You know, not a big deal to play, but it frees up some hand space, which is kind of the big advantage, I guess. And we get our bombardiers. Okay. Well, that's a big deal. So 3 artillery and a miner. The mine is successfully placed. Again, I'm not using the special card for that. The artillery hit twice. We have a breach anyway. I think I'm allowed to have the mine with the breach at the same time. Doesn't do much good, so I don't know. There weren't any cards to play. Let me look that roll up. And it kind of just doesn't make sense. But a breach is created on the boundary. Yeah. I see nothing about the breach getting rid of the mine. And you're allowed to have multiple mines, so maybe you fire one off and don't fire another off. And you'd still have the mines in place in case he starts rebuilding stuff. So that works fine, I guess. Okay, we got a hole now. That means we could actually do an assault into there. More importantly, though, we can start bombarding the actual units in there. Siege is really a tough thing, as you can see. I mean, yeah, I've spent all this time, I've broken the wall down. Now what? You know, I don't have a big enough army to go in and face him. And we've buzzed through the last couple of cards, or chip pulls, which were just card plays. I'm not going to go into too much more detail with the card management, so I'm probably going to just come in when something exciting happens, which isn't going to be very often from what we see. A lot of the chip pulls are just minor repositionings or something along those lines, and more of them are drawing cards. The card pile is empty, so I shuffle those and put them in. And we're into another month. I kind of want to do a raid with the Austrians, but A, I don't know where they get to raid, and B, well, mainly I don't know where they get to raid. I kind of have an idea where the Venetians are allowed to raid because I went through that several times. But the B is kind of, I don't know if I had a group that could have, but I think these guys maybe could have, and I just took a card draw from them. So let me see. Is raid part of the basic rules? I don't think so. I think it's advanced rules. The Austrian player can raid all eligible areas with a name on the map west of Gradisca. In addition, Sagrado, Monfalcone, and Muggia. And west of Gradisca, which I guess is fairly visible with a name. Well, I'm not really in a position to do anything except this. What happens on a raid? You don't actually get to shoot. You move in, you move out, right? Oh, you have to roll under the number of units that are going in. Yeah. So these guys could have done a raid, conceivably, with a decent shot. And if they do, I could up my morale so that I'm able to do more stuff. That would be the big effect. Apparently it also removes out of supply markers, but out of supply markers don't really matter since you check it immediately before activating the unit. I'm not sure why there are out of supply markers. The presence or absence of start of activation. What is the effect? Units with no have an out of supply marker. The marker is removed if it's supplied. The commanders have their leadership reduced to 1, which is a big deal because in combat that means they're only rolling 1s. Out of supply combat units have their movement allowance reduced by 1. That's not a big deal, but it could be for moving into attack. It could reduce your chance, and they cannot recover from demoralization or from disorganization. Well, we have not been paying attention to that. Some game events may require that you're in supply. But if you don't activate the units, you don't have to check their supply. Oh, yeah. I'm a little iffy on some of these advanced rules. I feel like they weren't as carefully thought out in terms of effects on play, but also in terms of actual, hey, is this rule even really workable as it stands? I'm not sure the supply rule really works. I feel like something is falling apart around the edges on that. I'm gonna load this one up, but I gotta shuffle the deck. I gotta put the caps in, and this goes here. That's the thing I really don't like about. Let me check this. When you check supply, yeah, it's activation of units, which means if you get hit and you don't activate those units for something, you don't have to check supply. But you do have to check supply to activate them to recover them. So you're not going to recover without supply, which again, I think I did. These guys are the ones who would have recovered. Actually, I think they're in range. Even now. Gotta be careful, these lines are hard to read. The other thing is the raids themselves don't seem to do much. So one thing notably is you don't get booty off of a raid. Okay, you have to capture something major for the booty to be gotten. You're not going to get that off the raid. You get supply, but that kind of doesn't matter. Other than the leader will get his full firepower, I don't know that there's anything that you actually gain out of having that supply. If you got some kind of marker that gave you supply for your next activation, that would make more sense. And in fact, then you wouldn't need the out of supply markers. They do almost nothing, right? It's you activate, you check for supply, then you do things that are in supply. The only effect of that out of supply marker is if there's a leader there. On the other hand, if there was a supplied marker, that would allow you to expend that and use it after your raid to go do something more impressive. Probably makes a little bit more sense. That's not what it does. And the only thing the raid really does for you is it increases your army morale. And again, it feels to me like this was, like most of the advanced rules are a little sketchy flavored, and that they haven't really been sort of hammered out in intent as well as the base game was, which is a pity because there's interesting factors in them. I wouldn't want to play without the light cav factor, which is a major part of the Austrian army. You know, its strategy always revolved around the Little War, you know, in this time period. It does later on too, but they relied on those Hungarian and Eastern units to be able to sort of disrupt the enemy a little bit.